and this is my live YouTube show. Thanks for joining. Sure, the comments are going to start coming, but I guess I showed it on my Instagram account. I showed it on my Facebook account, and I'm going to start talking about it a lot because the research is going forward, and I'm working with some amazing new people. It started this past weekend, the July long weekend that we have here in Canada. We we went out on expedition. Just one new member of my cooperation and I, Ashley Veenstra is her name, and oh my God, did we have some incredible. So what's going on here? Comments, show comments. Let's see. Sorry. Anyways, don't know what's going on here, but yeah. So I went out. There we go, and wow, what an incredible weekend we had. Just about every night we had, well, every day and every night we had some incredible Sasquatch encounters. They sure liked Ashley, I'll tell you. Wow, it was pretty amazing. It's going to be featured in a TV show that's coming out. They're the ones that fit the bill for that expedition. The Discovering Bigfoot Research Center is pretty much a go. I'm waiting for these wishy-washy people to make their commitments. Hey, Amanda, and but they'll make their commitments. They're just late. Everybody likes to pay late, late, late. But the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center is going to happen. I went out and started it uh, last weekend. I'm going out this weekend. I'm going out the weekend after. So I got 3 weeks. I'm going to get out there and give her tons of people from this year. Potentially, Survivor Man's been invited. Jeff Meldrum's trying to make time. Um, the Iceman Winhoff is coming out. Other celebrities I can't talk about are negotiating things. Huge, huge celebrities. Real quick, because I'll start answering questions here. But and it's way out in the bush, way out in the middle of nowhere. And she was asleep, and basically a Sasquatch came and looked in the window, and multiple other things happened beyond that. Sorry, I keep going in front of the camera here. I'm trying to look at the comments, but yeah, I mean, her head Sasquatch it was looking at her. So yeah, and they just kept coming around. I think they really like her, and I have to admit I was really impressed what was going on. We substantiated it by tracks, and then this weekend I'm going to start asking questions because it looks like the Sasquatch. My trailer, it was my trailer and my vehicle were covered in mud when I got out there, so just had a layer of mud on them. And it looks like the Sasquatch went over to Ashley, looked in her window, and then came over to my window and looked at me. I was really, you can see I'm kind of sick still. I have like a flu and a cold, so I've been really, really ill. So I took some cold medicine to sleep. I think the Sasquatch came right up to my window and had a look in. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's fingerprints. These huge, fat fingerprints are right there. So the television show that's coming out, I'm not going to name the name of it, but they're one of those analytical sort of evidence shows like an FBI sort of X-Files TV show is what they're sort of scripted for. So they like evidence. They like evidence. There's fingerprints that I can't identify. So like I said, I'm gonna start putting those fingerprints. And when Ashley showed me the fingerprints, she said, "Look, those are from a Sasquatch that came and was looking at us." I was very skeptical, but then I put my fingers on the window, and they are, I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'3". I have, my hand looking right through the window where my head was, where I was sleeping. It looks like a hand whacked the glass. Of course, I didn't wake up. It's funny, but remember, I was really sick and I was taking cold medication. But the hand that whacked the glass, it's the fingers. There's 5 fingers, and it's 4 fingers up and a thumb down. And I eyewitnessed a Sasquatch as well on the second or third night. Ashley woke me up because the Sasquatch were back. So she was seeing them, and I went over, looked through her window, and a few minutes later, I saw a Sasquatch, and then we found tracks, 2 sets of tracks. One of the sets of tracks was exactly where Ashley had seen one of them watching her. So went way up a mountain and did some really, really scary stuff where when you go backcountry and you're doing a discovery up on mountains, there are cliffs and ledges everywhere, and you can't tell by the trees how dangerous a spot is. So I went up and took her to a really scary area, and and she did really well. The girl is tough, tough as nails. She's brave. When the Sasquatch were coming around, I mean, stay there and I witnessed what she was witnessing, but she's just crazy brave. Like I've been on expeditions with dozens of people, and I know a brave person's competition. She's a personal trainer. She's as fit as can be. I went hiking with her. Man, she didn't miss a step. Like she's so tough, and that's important. So yeah, I mean, I am. Graham Gould says you're excited tonight, and you're right. I was. It's an exciting weekend. I have Sasquatch come out. The first things that happened was we were sitting by the fire, and it's just the two of us, which is good. And we heard them calling up on the mountains. We heard like a male and a female yelling down the side of the mountains, and yeah, wow. So hello, Todd. Phil. Hey, Phil, how's it going? Thanks for joining in here. So yeah, those are the things that are going on, right? So the lot and film crews are coming out and they want to do shows. It's in the works. Everybody's green lit it for me. It's funny because they'll green light it, but they don't want to pay for it really. They just want me to go do it, and I get paid way, way, way on the back end. But it looks like that's going to get done too. So tons and tons of stuff. Looks like I'm going to do at least two Bigfoot documentaries in the next year. So that's so I was mostly we put up apples, and I had high us, and Bo Johnson says you need a show on a network TV. Networks they suck though, because I won't. You know what? Networks want you to do crap that's just gonna make me look very, what's the word I'm looking for? Fake, I guess is the word. So I won't do fake shows. I won't be involved in it if they're going to be fake, if they're going to do crap. If they want me to travel all over the place and do some garbage thing that the primatologists and all the PhDs and awesome people that I work with are going to lose respect for me. Even, like I got offered a TV show, I got offered to do Tracker Man. I am a tracker. I could do that show amazingly well. The show isn't real, and if they were going to make the show real, I would go do it, but they refused. So, yeah. So, what's this here? So, Lindsay Bay, right? But you know what? You guys can help. Discovering Bigfoot Research Center. It's up and running, but I don't have the finances in place for it. It's just one of those things where I'm okay for the next 2 or 3 weeks, but and it looks like I can't promise much, but just as an example, the people that are funding me, like I'm going to send them all evidence that I'm acquiring, right? Because I mean, it's because of them I'm getting out there, and I do have lots of support. I think I have about maybe 50 people that are donating monthly, and I'm so grateful to all you guys that are doing that. Really, really am. It makes a big difference, and I'm going to start an email list to them and start sending them stuff because, like, just as an example, I have photographs of the Sasquatch fingerprints from my trailer. So, and I'd like their input. I'm going to send it off to Jeff Meldrum too, and I've never seen a Sasquatch fingerprints before like this. So, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe these aren't what they are. I can't see them. It's really, you got to understand. Like it's like there are four fingers up top, and then down below there's a thumb mark. And when you put your hand there, I mean, this hand, if it is a hand, is significant, but it's way bigger than mine, and it's not a spot I would have put my hand. I put my hand over by where the doors are, and the glass is nowhere near that. But maybe I was walking along and did something like that, but I can't see it. It doesn't look anything like my fingers. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So I am excited, and yeah. So Tanya says, so I was watching for you to come on and say, I still ended up missed the beginning of this amazing story. Thanks for sharing. Welcome. Wonderful. I don't. What the hell's wrong with my phone here now? Charging, but it's not. So Lindsay asked, "How do we fund you?" Just go to discoveringbigfoot.org and make a donation there. Just make it for like a monthly donation. And make sure it was our first little commercial break. Once in a while, I apologize, but there'll be little breakups in the stream. It's going to end in about 3 weeks. I'm going to have a new and improved internet connection, and that should completely end just in a few weeks. So the stream will get much better. I appreciate patience, guys. Anyways, I was talking. If you are going to make donations, make darn well and sure you can afford it. My suggested amount is $20, but Make sure you can easily afford it. I want that money coming out of your account and you just thinking something that's not ever going to affect me. If you can't afford it, just share my videos and tell people. Covering Bigfoots. It's an amazing documentary. And I'm gonna do a couple. I'm gonna do one more, Discovering Bigfoot 2, and see how that goes. So, got Dominic saying hello. I've been reviewing your channel daily. One of the things I plan to do is increase my game by getting more connected with the forest, like you've shared. Yeah, that's healthy. It's just healthy as a human being to do that. Um, yeah, it's just healthy. 97. I got the .org, discoveringbigfoot.org. It's not right now, not for sure right now, but I got to get to that. It's just so much you got to do. I got the expeditions, and then there's so much going on. It's crazy. So I apologize. I'm just doing the best I can. If somebody knows how to start a .org and wants to volunteer that time for me, please tell me. Wow. So I talked to a couple people who were going to help me with that, but that didn't pan out. So hello, happiest wife ever. Hi, Carrie Morgan. So I was sitting here in a deer stand in land between two lakes of these creatures walk within 20 feet of me. Both looked straight at me. I was amazed at the size. It scared the hell out of me. That is so cool, Ken. Huh. She was sitting in a deer stand in land between two lakes. These creatures. Do you think they knew you were there, Ken? That's interesting. You can send that sighting. I would love if you sent that sighting even more details than you put there. Time of year. I don't know if you want to put location, but it's Amanda knows it's bigfootencounter@gmail.com. Or you can go to the forum. Discoveringbigfoot.org has a forum that's run by Amanda. And yeah, it's an excellent forum for people to go and talk. Check out the Chickacoo Recreation Area in your Stony Plain, Alberta. One too many tree bends and structures to believe to be caused by wind. You know what, Bruce? There has to be some more. I need to show people a demonstration of what makes a tree break definitively a Sasquatch. Because when you get it, like I'm at the point where it's just clear to me. When it's a pressure break, if there's no if it's a thick tree and it's the only tree around, this is what the Sasquatch will do to just make it obvious for us dumb humans. They'll take a tree that's usually, more than an inch thick, maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4. That's crazy. By spacing your hands out, then you have that fulcrum advantage. And when it breaks, it's not a clean break. It has trailers, and the break is wide like that. However, the Sasquatch hold their hands close together, so the physics is immense power is required, and they pressure break it where they control the break and they snap it. They don't over break it either. And when you have that sight to understand, there's no trailers. It's all that break is contained within that one little spot. It takes human beings can't do it. I can't do it. I've tried. I took out engineers and professional builders and carpenters. You can't make that happen with there's just no way. I'm going to start talking about it more. I'm going to teach it. I just do little demonstrations with my expeditioners. I take a really small tree, maybe one that's an inch, a quarter inch thick, and I break it wide, show them the wall trailers, and I break it with pressure and show them how a tight break looks. And when they see how hard it is to make that tight break and how impossible it is to make that break in a tree that's an inch or thicker, I've taken expeditioners out. We've seen the big dominant male does that. That's crazy power. And I'll tell you, the expeditioners, boy, when they see that, when we go out, we discover that together in a new spot they've chosen to go. We make this discovery and find brand new pressure breaks that would require power that is stunning. Then it's Sasquatch. That's all there is to it. And people are very convinced of it. So there you go. Amanda put up write to us at Bigfoot Encounter or share your story at discoveringbigfoot.org forum site. Amanda's got it all. Amanda's the girl. And it's like 3 or 4 in the morning. She's from the UK. She's such a hard worker. I'm so grateful for her assistance and other people that are helping too. I've got Danielle and Phil from the websites. All these people doing awesome help. I really appreciate that. What do you think they would do if a human rearranged an obstruction? Or what, Northern Idaho Sasquatch? What I did last year in Nordegg in the last expeditions, there was a lot of snow, and I wasn't getting anything significant happening. So we took the tree breaks and we switched them over, I just think, honestly though, I've been doing that stuff a little bit here and there because people have been pushing me to do that, and nothing happens. As I was saying, this is important. I'm quite certain the tree breaks are barriers that we're not supposed to pass. I pass those barriers like a jerk, and they don't do anything. Not really. And then, excuse me. And then I've broken the tree breaks. I've done tree breaks off to the tree breaks. I just couldn't do it. When I see a structure and I know it. Sorry, this stream's really crap in the bed here. Please be patient, guys. I have lots of good stuff to talk about. As I was saying, a good structure, when they flip the trees around, they twist them together, they do all these really cool things. I just don't have the heart. I don't have the heart to rip that down. I couldn't do it. And if you did rip it down, it'd just be disrespectful. They would just think you're a jerk and they wouldn't come around you. And you know what? I strongly feel that way. The more I try to butt heads with them, the more they just say, you know what, you jerk, you're just being a jerk about things. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to come around? Do you think they're going to interact with you? I don't think so. So you just got to be patient, show love in your heart, and yeah, don't be disrespectful. Um, I regret taking the tree breaks and switching them around. I really do regret that. And I'm not in Nordegg this year. I'm just going to stay in Radium. I'm going to be very respectful. And yeah, that's just what I want to do. I have to. I have to have some kind of morality, and I have to have something in my heart. My heart really inspires me, and so I just want to be really respectful. They are my teachers. I see them as my teachers, and I'm a student, so I don't want to go around being a jerk. So, could they consider this a form of illegal baiting and then not buy my Bigfoot story? What is this Dominic saying? I do have a concern about the gifts, presents you leave. My question is to you, how do you? They would feel very poorly about it, and I'd probably get in trouble. Could they consider this a form of illegal baiting? Absolutely. I mean, because they don't believe in Sasquatch, right? And man, if a bear came around and took my apples, whew, man, that'd be problematic. That would be a big problem. Well, long story short, I was giving apples to a Sasquatch, my apples, but I didn't know that the salmon were up there. The bear came along, went up on the structure because the salmon were up at a spot where I couldn't see them and I couldn't smell them when they were freshly. The Sasquatch took the apples, and the fish that was left there was taken by a grizzly bear. And that grizzly bear later on, not too long after, came and tried to attack me. So that was that incident where the Sasquatch intervened, and I was filming them. I think you guys have heard this before, and we're taking my apples. But I mean, I tell you, when I go into a spot where I've left apples, I'm very cautious moving in because, man, if there's a bear in there, I'm not a Sasquatch activity around. You see significantly less bears, I've noticed. Todd, love what you do. I have cancer, and my bucket list is to see a Bigfoot. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, Larry. Cancer can be beaten, though, my friend. I hope you can rise above and get over it. I know my teacher and mentor, John, and there was another commercial break. So, hey, there's Danielle. An idea. Spencer Kelly, what does Spencer Kelly say? Have you ever thought of leaving a photo album of yourself and your family for the Bigfoot? Yeah, they're so. I've left little Bigfoot dolls. Um, yeah, I don't think they would touch that. They would look like technology. But, yeah, it's interesting. It's another level, right? Right now I'm just trying to get them to regularly take apples. I'm trying to regularly interact with them. It's an interesting idea, but right now I have two spots where I put up apples in radium, even though we had incredible encounters this weekend, watch, but they didn't take apples. So, you're talking about another level. Even Ashley, when she was out this weekend, she told me, well, this is after the second day of them coming around. She's like, I should, spend the night in this spot so I can put an apple right in their hand. So she put an apple up by a tree right outside the door of our trailer, and she wanted to put an apple in their hand. And I'm just thinking, this girl, she's spoiled. What a spoiled little brat. Her first expedition, first day, she saw a Sasquatch. She heard them, and she saw one on her very first day. Like, crazy, right? Totally crazy. So, yeah, and she gets it. Like, she's feeling, or she doesn't. She met me and she knows me, but she believed, and thought I was the real deal. But when you get out there and there's all these things happen, yeah, it's crazy. Lots of people are asking me about the Sasquatch thing. I don't know. I don't want to get into that one today, guys. I talked about it a lot. Um, uh, what's your suppose the X means on their part? Think it's a communication from the same tribe. The X, yeah, the X. I've never seen an X ray where there's no people at all. Any of the break structures that I see out there are for Sasquatch to communicate amongst themselves. Sasquatch, and I mean amongst themselves, like amongst their. Yeah. So the X's I've seen are, I think they're just saying, don't go past this, like don't track me home. And I've always adhered to that. So, do you have Wi-Fi instead of dial-up? I do have Wi-Fi. I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm on satellite Wi-Fi though. So, what's up, Todd? Missed the last 2 weeks of live. Happy to be able to catch it this week. What's new in the field? Yeah, just out on expedition, Anthony Barker. So, hi, Todd. Shout out to the UK. Yeah, because Amanda's from the UK. Lots of UKers. Have you ever heard of Bigfoot in the Appalachian Mountains in West Virginia? Yes. Have I seen them? No, I've never been there, but I've heard about them and I've heard people talk about them. And yeah, I don't know, maybe use our forum to try to meet people, talk to Amanda, eating the grass by the side of the road. Jake eating grass by the side of the road. Well, he didn't eat grass. What happened was, oh, come on, freaking stream. Hi. So I'm all frozen here. I don't know what the hell. It's been really acting up recently. Now what do I do? Come on. Are we back? Okay. So the story about Jake eating grass, there was no story about Jake eating grass. There was a story about a woman who pulled over. There were one lady was a nurse and a couple other, uh, you know, very successful women in their 30s. Going down Highway 93 in Kootenai National Park, where Jake lives sometimes, or within his territory. One of them went out to pee. She was ovulating while she went out to pee. As soon as she peed, like she went on the side of the road and peed, as soon as she came back to the vehicle, Jake went right up behind her, tore the grass out of the ground, and was smelling it. And then he walked of their car. Like they had, for God's sake, the stream. Holy crap. Wow, is it so complicated to do this? I don't know if you guys can see me right now. What the hell's going on? We're having an extra crappy stream today. Wow. Is it working? I don't know. We're on a commercial break here, guys. I don't know what the hell. Okay, we're back. It's moving. So as I was saying, the woman was taking a pee. Jake came out, tore the grass that she peed, shoved it right in his face with his other hand. He walked out to the car, put his hand on the hood of the car, and they. So that's the Jake ripping the grass out of the ground story, not eating it. So, and man, what's amazing about that is with these women. Oh, come on, I'm gonna have to stop doing this today. Wow, can't keep it going, YouTube. Are we on? What the hell? Come on, YouTube, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it, YouTube. I don't even know. I can't even. I'm so stunned by this YouTube stopping thing here. You know, somebody else did a live stream from this exact location and it worked perfect. So I used less data than he does. He's using more data, high data rate, and mine gets all interrupted. So I'm sorry, but I'm a little ticked off about it. But for God's sake, it's just a simple data stream. So, anyways, let's do some more questions here. I hope that worked. What I was trying to do, and when I sat down with them, they told me the whole story, and they told me about scars that Jake had on his body that they saw. They asked me what I thought, and I was like, "Well, obviously you saw Jake. I mean, congratulations!" And they cried. They literally cried. That are highly intelligent, highly well educated, pillars in their community, All were mocked and chastised to the point where they almost, well, they didn't, they just, they felt like they were just treated like they were crazy. You know what you know. You know what you saw. They know what they saw. They had no doubt about what they saw. They just wanted to hear somebody say, "Damn well, right, you saw a Sasquatch." So, oh, you could still hear me. Okay, I just couldn't see the video wasn't playing. The data stream's all screwy. But anyways, so that's to me the most exceptional thing about that was that people were these wonderful women that I just think the world of. And you know what they were going to do? They were going to come testify in a court of law. So for my court case, because they were like, we need to stand up and tell the world about what we saw. There's no way there's a coincidence between. I mean, for God's sake, I think that Jake has scars. I'll say it for the first time ever. Jake has mountain lion scars. Looks like Jake got in a kerfuffle on elk. Well, I've been seeing these scars for a long time. A mountain lion will attack an elk or a bighorn sheep unsuccessfully and leave really bad scars, and those look exactly like Jake's scars. So it looks like Jake got in a kerfuffle with a mountain lion, and I guarantee you, he's got some scratches. I guarantee you, I don't want to be that mountain lion. I don't even think that mountain lion's living anymore. So, anyways, I'll keep talking when it freezes up on the videos, guys. So, it's a good thing yeah. So, my new Sasquatch partner is hot, and if I was a Sasquatch, I'd expose myself to her. She's, Ashley is beautiful, and I see, as I was just talking about Ashley, somebody mentioned she's very beautiful, and outwardly she is very beautiful, but we've been talking a lot for months, and I've been getting to know her. She's a single mom, and she's funny, she's beautiful, internally she's a beautiful person, she's a beautiful mother, and yeah, she's just becoming a good friend of mine because it's scary. She wants to do some brave stuff, guys. I showed her where Survivor Man filmed the top of the head of a Sasquatch up. She's calling it Spirit Mountain, and I'm going to start calling it that too, where I had my spiritual animal ritual. And she just talked to me today, and she went through last week. She's like, I want to go up there. I want to do it. Not alone. She wants to stay with me. She's not crazy because it's, scary. But yeah, she's just really brave, and she's funny. She likes to laugh. She doesn't take herself seriously. Like, she's a professional fitness model. You can look her up on Instagram. Her Instagram is ridiculous. I don't even want to look at her Instagram. It's like she has like pro model photographs, and she photographs stunningly beautiful, but sore ankles, and coming down the side of a mountain and getting a little upset because it was steep and having a tough time, and learning, and I'm teaching her about trekking. So she's my friend, and yeah, I'm very excited to have somebody like that on board. And it's nice. It's mostly men. We're at like 90% men that are out doing expeditions and stuff, and that's not okay with me. I really like that female perspective. Jane Goodall, Diane Fossey, Broody Gattigas, the greatest primatologists that have ever lived. And, they're all women, so there's something special about that. So, hey, Todd, shout out from Minnesota. I really appreciate the hard work and dedication you put into this research, including all you've sacrificed. I'm just somebody that's, there's lots of people that are working hard and trying to make this discovery move forward. And okay, thank you for that information. Yeah, and Amanda says Jake being seen by other people is so cool. And you know what, Amanda? There's like 20 people that have called me and said somebody really identifying Jake by his scars, and that's what really gets me. That's the most significant thing. If you see his scars, you're seeing Jake, and people will bring that up without me even knowing it. I've only been talking about the scars for the last not very long, but anyways, in Morley, an Indian reserve just outside of Calgary, Alberta, which is pretty far. That's hella far. That's got to be 100 miles from where I see him in Kootenay. So anyway, that's really interesting that Jake was seen, 100 miles away from his home habitat. And what's so interesting to me too, what's really important, is that there's a different troop of Sasquatch there. So if he was in that area, which they're saying, then, and I believe he was, then the other troop of Sasquatch were allowing it, or how was that working? Was he invading them? Not likely. So nobody was. Yeah, very interesting how they might cooperate amongst themselves, right? How they might travel from group to group potentially. And Jake, at the time he would have been seen, He was not fully grown, so he probably would have been about 17 years old when in Morley, which is again like 100. So so awesome that you have a new female colleague to share these ventures with, Todd. May give you some insight into behavior from female perspective. I love that she's named it. Isn't that cool? Yeah, she's she's in control. She's like, that's Spirit Mountain, that's Sasquatch Mountain, that's over here. She goes, why don't you have these places named? I'm like, oh, I just never thought of it. Well, they are named mountains, but they're named after a politician that nobody cares about it anymore and never did anything great anyways. So, hi Todd, it's Todd from SDQ. Does Sasquatch have blue gray color skin? But I've seen gray for sure, gray to brown. That is an awesome question about their skin color, and I'm what was said here. It's Todd Tidwell. That's blue gray color, and I never thought about it, but I definitely think gray brown, gray black brown. I think I love this show so much. I just keep doing it. What and how do they hunt? Uh, well, my theory is, I mean, they'll hunt and eat whatever they want. The elk are the most consistent, large, best food source because for deer as you do for elk. Like the anatomy is the same, but you get twice as much meat out of an elk. And I like the way elk taste better. But Sasquatch will. I just think the Sasquatch are going to eat whatever they want. That's within their nature, right? From bighorn sheep to elk to deer to berries to yeah. So just whatever they want, and hunting is going to be so easy for them. They could move as a cooperation. They could run down an elk and just there's so many different things they can do. I think most easily they just sneak up on an elk and kill it. Probably break its neck, smash its head with a rock or something. But I have no knowledge of this stuff like firsthand. Moose body, and I see that the ribs are snapped off at the spine, and that marrow is sucked out both on the spine and on the rib bone. That's a delicacy, and that tells me the only thing that does that in nature is Sasquatch. And on a few of those that I've seen that were definitively, at one point at least, eaten by a Sasquatch because of the rib breaks that it. And I know when an animal dies, their neck can be funny and twisted, but I'm talking like twisted in the spine where it's like, whoa, that was, which would make sense just based on their power. The power is just absolutely stunning in power. So I bet they have a yearly convention where they all congregate, talk about what they've learned. Yeah, you know what, man? That was the most successful year I've ever had. It was in Nordegg. Weird. It was way too many Sasquatch, way too much activity. And I think that might have been the gathering. So, and that's the only evidence I have of the gathering is that year in Nordegg that was just absolutely crazy, where Meldrum saw one. They were coming around Stroud and I, like we had 8 individuals, which is probably more amazing year that was. And I think they were reporting Todd in his research something with Dan that I didn't see. If Daniel's thanking you, Daniel's must helped me. Thank you, Daniel, for all your help. Todd, I have asked 5 questions, won't reply. Are my questions too sensitive nature? Sorry, Michael Newton. I'm just sort of whipping through stuff, and when I get, I'll look for. Where's a Michael Newton question here? No, Michael Newton. I'll tell you. See, there's Michael Newton. Your video on Bigfoot ET. Oh, my view on Bigfoot ET involvement? No, no. If anything, I've looked into that stuff. There's people talking about, I don't know, all that stuff. I would agree that Sasquatch look like more of an indigenous species than we do. So, but Bigfoot and Sasquatch, no. I think aliens are real. I think I've seen tools and things and witnessed stuff. Of course, aliens, dude, they come down. I don't know. It's real. That stuff is real, but that's not my thing. So they exist. I know that they're around and all that stuff. So Lindsay asks, how old is Jake now? I'm not sure that Jake is old. Like he's an adult now, and he's old enough to go on his own. And it breaks my heart to think that he's not around. And I didn't see him this last weekend. Did you forget? Don't forget to hit the like button. Sure, hit the like button if y'all like it. So, do Sasquatch shapeshift? No. And I hear rumors and things. See, basically, skinwalking is where and natives used to do this. There's some other crap that's like ritualistic and murder and garbage like that. But no, I don't do I don't talk about skinwalking for that. Skinwalking was something that what you do is you put on an elk skin and you think like an elk and move around like an elk for a significant amount of time. I think months. And what the advantage of that is when you think like an elk and live like an elk and breathe like an elk, then you can track an elk and follow an elk. And they're, now you can become a more efficient hunter. That's the whole point of skinwalking, in from what I've seen of it. So shapeshift, absolutely not. They're not fourth dimensional beings. They don't shapeshift. I don't even like that kind of stuff. It kind of bothers me. This is not. They're not paranormal. They don't. If you're a scientist and you understand what the fourth dimension is compared to the third dimension, compared to two dimensionals, and you say they're a four dimensional being, so you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what a fourth dimensional being wouldn't exist appropriately on a three-dimensional plane any more than a three-dimensional being. Me as a three-dimensional, Sasquatches are three-dimensional beings, people. They have three dimensions. They live in three dimensions. So don't portal shift into the fourth dimension because they're not a fourth dimensional being. They don't exist that way. And once people start to understand the physics about one dimension, three dimensions, and I've looked into the physics of fourth dimensional understanding, tropes and stuff. That's when we say stuff like that, scientists just look away and go, "Oh, they're morons. They don't know what we're talking about." So because it's ignorant. It's very ignorant to say stuff like that. So no, they're not fourth dimensional beings. They don't travel through portals. I could tell you 100 different occasions where I've been stood off with the Sasquatch, and if he could have went into a fourth dimensional portal, I'm sure he would have. But they don't, and they won't ever. They're three dimensional. But aliens pertaining to Sasquatch, I don't know why there would be any connection. So I think Sasquatch are clearly the indigenous species. And Amanda asked me, do you think their skin color determines their hair color? Oh, do you see patterns on their hair? Do you think their skin color? I have to really think about that. I mean, it's not like skin color determines their hair color. So Jake has brown skin. Video 8, who has black skin, has black hair. And a young Sasquatch, black hair. And then Jane in video 4, who has dark to light brown hair, just let's say brown hair, has definitive brown skin. And the old guy that I've seen, the Sasquatch I think is probably a shaman, he has really black. I think if his colors probably would have been black about it. So it seems that just in this last 2 minutes, since the question has been posed to me, when they have brown skin, they have brown hair. When they have black skin, they have black hair. I'm definitively seeing that pattern in this moment. So, and just keep, deal with the breakups and stuff. Because, yeah, I didn't even think about that until you put me to task. In fact, I can think of a Sasquatch I saw really well in black. Not jet black, but he was maybe really, really dark brown. And his hair was really dark brown. He was almost like, I saw him in the light. I saw him with some sun around. And yeah, he was dark brown skin and dark brown. And his eyes were black. Even I'm noticing in video 8, black eyes, black skin, black hair. Eyes, brown skin, brown hair. Like, this is crazy, right? Never thought of it. That is so impressive. I have to think on that some more. What an awesome question. You see what you guys can do? This is amazing. This is the power of cooperation. I'm so impressed by that. I'm stunned. Do you think they throw rocks at birds to kill them to eat? Because I hear they can throw rocks. Chris, they can throw rocks with ridiculous... I fire guns. I shoot guns. I know how bullets, just like handguns, an 8-inch barrel, you're not going to get deadly accurate at 100 yards. You're not going to get good accuracy at 100 yards. It's a bullet that's designed to move through the air. I've seen Sasquatch throw rocks at 200 yards plus or minus 6 inches over and over. Their ability to throw a rock is deadly, insanely, even paranormally accurate. That's why people think paranormal stuff with Sasquatch, because they're so good at things. They're so immensely impressive with stuff. You think it must be paranormal. A lot of times I see that, but I know they're not paranormal. They're just amazing. And so, yeah, they could peg off a bird. Why wouldn't you just, hell, I walk up on grouse, and they're like, pine grouse are out here like crazy. So, yeah, I'm sure they would just toss a rock. I've never seen any evidence of that, but I'm sure they could. And what an easy way to get yourself a grouse, right? Todd, do you think Sasquatch have a language like words or some sort of animal noise, like how deer call to each other? Well, what I heard this week, I'll tell you, Ashley will say that she heard a female on Spirit Mountain and a male on Sasquatch Mountain. There's two mountains in this direction where we heard sound from, and it sounded like they were talking to each other. It wasn't even whooping. It was kind of like a you are me. I don't know. I can't duplicate it. I should ask Ashley about it because I've heard it before, but they were making calls and sounds and stuff, and she thought it was them communicating to one another. I think they were communicating to us because I think they just yeah, they were communicating to us. So she's really, really green and really, really new. And she'll say, "You guys," she'll be in the movie, and she's in Discovering Bigfoot Part Two. If that movie to be in it already, she's man, she was so impressive. So because she's so like Snow White, she's really, really internally beautiful and innocent, and yeah, that's wondrous, you know. So being male, being masculine, being somebody who like is the caretaker and watches over other people. It's nice to be able to watch over somebody, a woman like that, who's strong and being masculine. I give her the ability. I'll get closer to me, and but she's allowed to be feminine and gentle and beautiful. Deal with that stuff all the time. Again, another test that we had. A mountain lion definitively came around, and you know, and she got nervous, and she should be nervous because the mountain lion will kill you. It's dangerous, but you know what? She endured, and she's learning to trust me, and you know, I wasn't concerned about it that at all. Really, I just took appropriate precautions. It is dangerous if mountain lions around. Get the hell out of there, right? So we did. We left the area, and you know, that's what I have to say about her. She can be beautiful and feminine and gentle, and that will be very appealing to the Sasquatch, both the males and the females. And I can be masculine and me. I'm not feminine. I don't have a nice gentle voice. I don't think I sound right. So so Aswaka Goop Spack. I can't stand these weird, twisted, crazy names people use. But anyway, so I was reading Oswook. Where is that? I was gonna read that one, and I was interrupted. Amanda's talking about their hair. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it. There's like 1,000 things here. So Dan, less hair, darker the skin because of the sun. Less hair. Okay, so Dan is saying less hair, darker the skin because of the sun. Hmm. I don't know, Dan. I don't know. I don't think. No, you know what though? The young guy. This hair, you know, Sasquatch was this little dude that I saw. I talked about it on Survivor Man. Probably a Sasquatch. We were responding to Dan's question: less hair, darker skin. Uh, that would not be a young Sasquatch I saw. He had the darkest skin I have ever seen, the darkest eyes I have ever seen, and his hair was thick. Like he had like an afro. Man, was his hair thick, and he was so black. Like I've never seen anything blacker than that. That was just as jet dark. His fur, his eyes. When I looked at him, my paradigm wouldn't. I couldn't. I was unable to get in the brain what I was seeing because no living being could be so black. Black eyes, black nose, black mouth, black lip, black hair, jet black. I was convinced that was some kind of strange rock I was looking at until he blinked. And I was like, okay, that was definitely an eye blink. And again, the eye blink, the eyes, the lids that blinked were jet black. So Lindsay Bay is Ashley going to be live with you soon. Ashley's coming on expeditions with me like crazy. Ashley lives in Calgary, Alberta, and she's and anyways, Ashley's made a big commitment to do lots of work with me and summer, and that's awesome. So we'll see how it goes, though. You know, people just have to. Lots of people, people can come out lots. I have, you know, people coming out on their third, fourth expeditions with me this year. They've been coming out over and over again. And but you know, Ashley wants to be public. She wants to be in the movie. She's okay with that. And a lot of people that come out with me don't want that. They're doing it for themselves, and you know, I respect that. The experiences that she's had is amazing. So, and boy, she's so lucky. Can you imagine that? It took her out her first expedition. She was out there for like 4 days with me and saw Sasquatch 3 of those days. So, JJ Martinez, do they sleep in deep caves? No idea. I've only ever seen evidence of maybe the location was very cave that I think they slept in was very shallow. So I think if I took my autistic son in the hills, we would get some action sounds back. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. So there can be something very beautiful about somebody who's highly focused like an autistic human being, right? So I would lean towards yes. All right, he's autistic, but he's very special, and yeah, autistic people have special gifts, and I think that'd be a wonderful idea. When you do that, please keep me informed. Um, and be very keep him safe. I know you will. Keep your boy safe. Love him, and that's what Sasquatch. They're special too, right? So I think they're attracted to people that are going to be less normal, if that makes sense. People that are in society that play their video games, watch movies, and drink beer and don't do anything are very civilized and less attractive to a Sasquatch. And a boy who's maybe autistic and he's gonna have something very special about him and really unique, and it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. So that'd be cool. Todd, final question from me. What is your opinion of the financial implications of Bigfoot in acknowledgement? In your opinion, what will this do? National park visits, it won't do anything, but to forestry and uh, the mining and all that stuff, there could be enormous, horrific ramifications financially, like devastating to those industries. Devastating, like devastating to the impact because the Sasquatch are an indigenous people that have land rights. So yeah, it doesn't have to be though, and I don't want it to be. We have economies, we have people that have jobs. Why does it have to be like that? Why does it have to be one bloody extreme or the other? Why can't we do things and find a nice equilibrium, Because we are logging and mining and industry is I'm no hypocrite. I have a house that's made out of wood and I use plywood and you know, people have jobs from industry and I don't know, wood is a wonderful building material, and we can take wood sustainably. We do it here in British Columbia. It's considered 100% sustainable. Have we made mistakes? Have we this an equilibrium thing? Let's find a way where we could all benefit from it. And you know, that's what I have to say about that. It seems to me that Sasquatch fully understand the Native American language and often have names that sound completely native as well, perhaps from so many generations of living alongside them. The Sasquatch spoke a dialect of Cree once. So yeah, and but the Native Americans had better equilibrium, better connectivity. They were much closer to nature than we ever have been ever. And most of the Native Americans are the native people of North America now are so separated and so distant from nature, separated by technology. And yeah, Todd said, well, hi Todd, it's Todd. Could Sasquatch cruise through the canyons next to the city limits of San Diego? Oh, I don't know, dude. I've never been there. You're gonna have to make that determination. Where Claudia Ackley saw them in California blew my mind. Like right in the hella middle of civilization they'd been coming. So totally mind blown by Claudia Ackley's sighting. I am firmly convinced that is a legitimate sighting. Very, very convinced that Claudia Ackley, especially because of her daughter, I'm so convinced. I'm 98% convinced that's legit. And if those people have fooled me, then they're amazing. Congratulations to them. I just don't think that's possible, though. I really, I think very highly of Claudia and her daughters. So I think the population is rising. All the huge farms and cities and people aren't armed as often. Just as so I'll tell you, Brad. So this is a real definitive proof to me that they're declining. I was talking about Morley earlier. On that reserve, a younger Sasquatch kept getting away and he was banging on people's houses and messing with the local native people. And I would see his mom run down and pick him up and walk away and then try to control him. He was like being a little brat. I think the reason so it was one mother that I'd seen there and a teenage male, teenage female, and a young male. I think the young male was being a problem was maybe 6 or 7 years old. He kept running off on her. She couldn't control him, and the reason that troop that was in Morley are gone. And I went over the ridges of Morley, and I saw the logging and devastation over there. And loss of habitat equals loss of life. I think Sasquatch had been in that area maybe forever. That really saddened me. That's loss of habitat, loss of life, right there. So you know, sucks, but And for some reason in my heart, I could just have so many, because I spent, you know, dozens of days out there, maybe 50 days out there around Morley doing research and learning about the Sasquatch. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't just my heart telling me that. It was the evidence of ecology. They didn't want to leave, and then they were gone. I couldn't find them there anymore. And then I went over that ridge out of the reserve, and I saw the logging and devastation that had happened, and I felt heartbroken. I felt they weren't there anymore. Troop be gone, and how long they've been there, and knowing that years before there was a big male. I didn't like it just got replaced and gone, and that's Sasquatch land. The Sasquatch have been there, and now they're not. So I do a lot of deer hunting. This is Spencer Joyner. I do a lot of deer hunting, and although I have never seen a Sasquatch, do you think one has been watching me while hunting? Well, I don't know where you hunt, Spencer, but I'll tell you this. You got black bears there? I think if you got black bears there, the likelihood of you having Sasquatch there is good. I think at least 50-50. And if you're hunting, and I was talking to Spencer about he deer hunts, and he wants to know. I'll tell you, if you have even if just if you have a good ecology there, if the Sasquatch are there, then absolutely yes. And the Sasquatch love hunters. The Montana man that I worked with years and years ago, he was a hunter, and the Sasquatch were like herding the deer towards him so he could shoot them. He was like, "What the hell's going on? Deer don't run towards me." And they were interacting with him. They clearly really, really liked him. And then he built a relationship with them, or he was attempting to build a relationship with them. That after that, that seemed to kind of fall apart. But anyways, yeah, if you're a hunter, they're hunters. They're gonna love that. If hunters love nature, right? They do. Hunters love the animals. At least the ones I know do. I've never met a hunter that didn't have a love and respect, adoration for the. Say there are jerks, right? But if you love the wilderness and you have that passion, and it's extremely likely that you've had a Sasquatch look at you. So very, very likely. And so watch my videos. Watch the Survivor Mans. You learn a lot, and keep an eye out for the signs and tracks and breaks and structures and upside down tree logs and things. Those are Sasquatch. They do that, right? So Dan Stanko, yes, the Chatter Samurai. Have you heard that vocalization that Ron Moorhead with those Bigfoot arguing when it sounds like language? Yeah, I heard that. If you're talking about the, I heard that. That's not what I've never heard that from a Sasquatch though. So, not to say that's not authentic, but I don't know. Just as humans can sense each other or other creatures in and around us as well. Yeah, absolutely. That's Pato Jojo Bernard. Buckwaz. Yeah, Buckwaz is the name for Sasquatch, right? I think I've heard that before. As the ultimate of all shaman, and probably would be in tune to a higher vibration frequency beyond the auroric field. I completely agree with Danielle. She calls herself Ontario ITC Sasquatch, and she knows a lot about. She's speaking about stuff she has an exceptional knowledge of, and I agree. That's what the native people see them as. It's just even fact, right? That's just a fact. Clearly, they're that good. They're that connected. They're that amazing. Um, yes, I do about them understanding the native language. It almost sounds like some native talk. Yeah, maybe. Claudia is setting up a PTSD groups for people who have. Isn't that cool that Claudia is doing that? A post-traumatic stress groups for people who haven't had a nice time discovering big Sasquatch. Isn't that cool that she's doing that? I love that. And it's true. If you've seen a Sasquatch, you get ridiculed and treated like crap, and it's very traumatic. So thank you for answering my question. Keep up the great work, Todd. I'll be following your high hopes. Thanks, Chris. I have high hopes too. Hi, Todd. Thanks so much for doing this. Quick question. What would you say is the best area close to Vancouver that you can go camping and do some Sasquatch research? Something. Golden Ears. Golden Ears. If you're around Vancouver, Maple Ridge, I love Golden Ears. Go take one of those weird logging roads in the middle of nowhere. There's Sasquatch up and around Golden Ears. So my colleague takes me maybe a month and a half ago. I was out with my colleague Randy, and it's amazing Sasquatch stuff happened. So what I would tell you though, Jordan Kalla, is just go remote. Just follow a road where hardly anybody goes down, and go far on that road and see what happens, and let nothing go. Like every sound means something. If you're hearing sounds that don't make any sense, If you're hearing a crashing, bashing sound moving towards you, I don't know, rocks are getting thrown at you. Like, I don't just, use common sense and don't be afraid to know that's a Sasquatch when it's around you, right? So we could offer Sasquatch low cost rental apartments. That's funny. So, yeah, so I'll just do one more, please. I live in California, Todd, close to Six Rivers National Park. I would pay for you to fly northbigfoot at gmail.com, Dan. That's northbigfoot at gmail.com. We'll talk. I don't know if I can make the time to do that, but I got to come to California at one point, um, in the next year for sure. And when it gets winter up here, I can go do stuff in California. So I would really consider that. That'd be fun. And then I can go work with Claudia and the California lawsuit and stuff like that. So yeah, just send me an email there, Dan. We'll talk. Thanks so much. Just curious, Todd. Might say the best activity might be. Jordan Cullis and Justin Gardner. One of my theories is that Sasquatch do not want to be seen by humanity because, uh, yeah, they notice humans destroying them, and we know they're. So I agree with you, Jordan. People are crazy, crazy things, and that's. I don't even think that's a theory, Jordan. I think what you're saying, Jordan, Justin Gardner, I think definitely destructive. So, have you ever seen a white Bigfoot? No, I saw a salt and peppery Sasquatch that was old, but not white, and his skin is still dark and really wrinkly, like crazy wrinkly, like he's old. His legs are slimmer, like an older man. I noticed older, slimmer legs until I saw that in a Sasquatch. So, yeah, that's that. Many indigenous people in the Amazon are now communicating with outsiders to appeal to them about the horrendous logging in the region. Logging and destruction, right? It's crazy what we do. I was in the beautiful Mayan Riviera and I went from Cancun down south to the Mayan Riviera, and they've logged everything. They left nothing. What does it matter with us? Like, leave some, they've logged everything. There's nothing left. There are sections of beautiful Vancouver Island that I have friends of mine from foreign countries go visit, and they go, "What the hell's the matter with you? You took everything in sections. Like, why didn't you leave something?" And I agree. Like, for God's sake, what the hell? There's got to be a limit. The gluttony is disgusting, and maybe the Sasquatch can help lead us out of that a little bit. There's got to be a limit, right? Like, why take everything? Leave something. So around where I live, they take patches of forest, and that seems to work cool with me. Leave some old, go in a place like, oh, Dad, is this old forest? No, kiddo. No, this is not. What about here, Dad? These are old trees. No, kiddo. Like old forests and old trees are just so freaking rare. I live in Canada. It's disgusting. So, man, it's disgusting. Um, so, okay, that's my show for today, guys. That's like over an hour. Um, Justin, hey, Todd, do you think you've had more success due to the troops you were following in the documentary didn't have as much contact with civilization? No, Justin, no. I think I've had more success just because when the Sasquatch don't like me around, um, I don't stay around. I like with groups that are agreeable to me. So, holy crap! I'm glad that person got deleted. Sorry about the buffering issue, guys. And this has been an awesome show. Yeah, and then just right, I am getting an upgrade in a couple weeks. I'm gonna get this thing fixed. So, in 2 weeks, literally. So, you know, it'll be fixed. Just patience. So they're in Nova Scotia. I've heard that Nicholas Isadora that they're on Nova. You guys have so many questions. So Amanda got the email up there, and so I'm really getting a video up this week. I wanna get a video up, especially because of those fingerprints. I want to send that information out. That's a big deal to me. I have no knowledge of Sasquatch fingerprints, so I'm going to start putting those out. In fact, I'll probably put the fingerprint up on Instagram, and I'll do a little video about what happened with Ashley and I and how it's not just that they're big, giant fingerprints that were on the side of a dirty trailer, but we had visualized a Sasquatch, heard a Sasquatch, Sasquatch banged on the trailer. I had, I was laid in the back and her foot on the trailer wall once, and I heard it, and then there was a big boom boom in response, and she goes, "That wasn't me! That wasn't me!" And I go, "Oh, this one was you? The first one was me. The second one wasn't me." So, and then we just, started, then we saw the Sasquatch not very long after. So, yeah, the UK was deforested in the Bronze Age. I'll really try to get a video done this week and put that fingerprint up, and I want that fingerprint out there. I'm going to show it. It's going to be analyzed by experts, I hope, in the next week and a half. I've got some guys who have like they're doing like an X-Files show. They're going to analyze those things and put it on TV and see how it goes. And I have high hopes. I've been wrong before, but I just can't. And actually, there were two sets of fingerprints, one on my Jeep and the other one on the trailer, and they're both from the same big hands. I don't know what the heck he was banging the Jeep for. But then again, Ash, but he came within, I think, about 70 yards of the fire and gave us a little like that we both vividly heard. So maybe while he was growling there was a Sasquatch over behind us in the opposite direction that gave my Jeep a bonk this week. I hope you're enjoying these shows. And, crazy busy with the research center right now. Crazy busy. There's literally a research center, though, out there. I did the best I could. I got my research center about 90% set up. In the next couple of weeks, I'll bump that up to 100%. And then if I can get proper funding and all these people that are supporting me show up and do what they do, then we have a Sasquatch. We have the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center up and running, and it's going to be amazing. Amazing. Sasquatch tree breaks logged in, encounters logged in, documented, time, date, place, all that stuff. And this is a long-term study that's going to be happening for years and years. A long-term Sasquatch Research Center up and running in 2019, where there's somebody always out there. So this year, it'll be like I'll be out there, I'd say about 33% of the time, which is amazing. And next year, if I could bump it up to 66 or maybe more, maybe 70, 80% of the time, maybe 100%. Is that a crazy? I have some family issues that are going to be worked out, I hope, in the next couple months. And then I can get back on fire and just kick some ass. And yeah, thank you all so much for your help. If you want to help out, do send me an email at northbigfoot@gmail.com. If there's something you can do to help, I could really always use that. I don't know what I would do if it wasn't for, if it wasn't for Amanda and Danielle and Phil, those three people alone, there would be no live stream people. Rachel Pierce and, expeditioners that are friends of mine booted me in the ass. If it wasn't for the help that I'm receiving from all these people, I'm not talking family. These are you people are colleagues. Daniel, Amanda, Phil, Rachel. These are if it wasn't for the help of these debt of gratitude, heartfelt thanks. I dedicate this show to those awesome people, because I wouldn't be doing videos. I wouldn't have a research center, and it's even beyond them. It's the fans. It's all you people out there. They're like, Todd, we love your work. We love your dedication. That appreciation has just lit a fire under my ass, because of you people, the Discovering Bigfoot Research Center is up. Because of you people, I do these videos. I'm doing this research. This research moves forward. So to hell with me and gratitude to me, gratitude for you, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your help. So heartfelt, deeply, thank you so much for that, guys. And we'll talk more, and I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, take care of yourselves until then.